Hello friends, welcome back to Elise Reads and Speaks. Today I am bringing you what I'm going to call a chapter sampler vlog. I requested a bunch of chapter samplers and you're going to do this with me, and we're going to see at the end what sounds good, what full books I will actually request from Nat Callie, and which ones based on the first chapter I'm going to be like, no, not for me. So again, I requested a bunch. I ended up requesting 12 and getting 12, and if you think about it, like that's 12 chapters. So this video probably isn't going to be in all of one sitting because I can't read 12 chapters at once. I got other things to do, but we'll see how I do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a synopsis of each book that I've requested, and by the time I get to those books and read them, we will see if I would actually want to continue with them or if it's just better being left off at one chapter. So in this order, I'm going to read them. The first one that I requested is called The Bone Spindle. This one is by Leslie Vedder, and this one is pitched as a Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones. So the Sleeping Beauty character in this, Briar Rose, is actually a boy. And the female character in this, she's going on like this archaeological dig, or she's exploring a ruin or something like that, and she pricks her finger on a spinning wheel, spindle, whatever, and she starts getting haunted by the ghost of Briar Rose, who is currently under that sleeping curse, so she has to figure out how to break that curse and free his kingdom. I thought that sounded like a nice gender swap plus Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones. Like that sounds like it could be cool. Next up is Sunny G's series of Rash Decisions. This one's by Navdeep, Singh, Dhillon. This one is about a teenage sick boy, S-I-K-H, whose brother recently dies and leaves him a notebook. So he decides to fill this notebook with all these crazy decisions that he's gonna do to live his life. And it's like a rom-com because he meets a girl at a party and she decides to go ahead and, do these decisions with him. Not usually my style, but it was part of this chapter sampler, so I'll give it a whirl. The third one sounds right up my alley and I'm super excited for it. This one is called Hotel Magnifique, and this one is by Emily J. Taylor, and it's pitched for fans of Caraval and the Night Circus. Loved Caraval! Wasn't as crazy about the Night Circus. I mean, like, it was okay, but I love Caraval, and this synopsis kind of sounds like Caraval. So the Hotel Magnifique is this hotel, and it changes its position every day. So it ends up in a new location every morning. So that already, I feel like I'm like, okay, this sounds like it's for me. And these pair of sisters don't have enough money to go to this hotel as guests, so they interview to be part of the staff. And then I guess they're hired as part of the staff, and then there's some evil they find out about this hotel that they have to vanquish. I don't know. I'm really pumped for this one. My fourth book will be Right Where I Left You by Julian Winters. Now follow me on this one, okay? Isaac and Diego are best friends, and there's one summer left before they go to college, and they decide that they're gonna have the best summer ever by buying badges for what's called Legends Con. Okay, so Isaac is in charge of buying the badges, and on the day that these badges go on sale, he gets distracted by a past love. What is this past love's name? I already forget. But you know what? The name isn't important. He gets distracted by the past love and he misses his opportunity at buying the badges for Legends Con, all right? So Isaac and Diego can't hang out there. So their summer is going okay because they're hanging out with a bunch of Diego's friends, I guess, but then Diego finds out the reason why Isaac was so distracted, and of course, things ensue because it's pitched as a best friends to lovers romance. Again, not usually my jam. It kind of makes me think of like What If It's Us, and I hated that book, so I'm hoping this is just better than that. My fifth book is Kiss and Tell by Adib Khorram. So this one is about a boy band called Kiss and Tell, and I love me some boy bands, so hopefully I'll enjoy this one. So there is one member. Sorry, that was my dog. There is one member in this boy band that is gay, and he goes through his first breakup with a boy and it becomes very publicized. So all of a sudden everybody knows that he's gay and he is expected to be this really great queer role model for teens. So with that expectation comes a lot of baggage. He's expected to be perfect, and instead of being perfect, he also wants to live his life and possibly date somebody in the opening band for his boy band. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of fun. Honestly, I feel like boy bands is a buzzword for me, so I get a little excited when I see that in a blurb. Next up is a highly anticipated read of mine. It is Marissa Meyer's Gilded. Oh man, I'm so stoked. I love the Lunar Chronicles. I really enjoyed Heartless. I think she does fairy tale retellings really, really well, especially since I didn't like her other one that she put out, that romance or something that was pitched as romance, Karma, Instant Karma, that's what it's called. Okay, but whatever, I digress. This one is called Gilded, and it deals with Rumpelstiltskin, a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. Ooh. So in this one, the main girl has been cursed by the god of lies, so she has this innate ability to just spin fabricated tales, all right? So then she's like stolen and taken to this other world with ghouls and phantoms, and the king there, I guess, or if there is even a king, whoever is in charge tells her that she needs to either spin some straw into gold or she's gonna be killed for telling all these lies. So clearly this is where the story starts coming in. I'm guessing that she cries, ends up meeting somebody that can actually spin some straw into gold and takes down this vicious king or something like that. I don't know exactly what happens, but I am pumped. The 7th book on my list is A Clash of Steel, a Treasure Island remix by C.B. Lee. I'll tell you right now, I'm not excited for this because I was not a Treasure Island fan. However, it was just in the sampler pack that I got approved for, so I'll read it, I'll read the chapter, I'll see if I change my mind. It is a little different because it's set in 1826 and it has a Chinese spin on Treasure Island. So this girl is, she has a pendant that was given to her by her recently deceased father, and then in this pendant they find a tiny little map scroll that they decide to follow that takes them to treasure. Again, I'm not a Treasure Island fan. I don't expect to like this one, but I will give the first chapter a try. The 8th book that I have is Bad Girls Never Say Die. This one is by Jennifer Mathieu. I don't know how to say her last name, but she is also the author of Moxie. Now this is a retelling of The Outsiders. I wasn't a big Outsiders fan, but I thought this one sounded kind of cool. This one is set in 1964 in Houston, Texas, and it's about a group of bad girls, not bad boys. Okay, the bad girls, they wear really bold makeup and they talk loud and they mess around with boys, okay? So something happens that one of these girls gets put in a bad situation and is saved by a different girl from the right side of the track. So then she has to like rethink everything that she's learned. I don't know, this could be it for me. I mean, maybe I wasn't into The Outsiders because it was about a group of dudes in, you know, some old time. I mean, maybe I like this. See, this is why we're doing the sampler. Before I tell you about my 9th book, I'm just gonna say, Tatiana, if you're watching this, you may just wanna skip ahead just a little bit. All right, so this one is called Daughters of a Dead Empire. It's by Carolyn T. O'Neill, and it's an Anastasia retelling. I'm so sorry, but I love Romanov retellings, okay? So in this one, Anastasia, I guess, has just broken free of the big massacre that happened to her family, and she is on the run. So she meets up with this one girl who is from the opposite side. Like this girl has a brother that fights for the Red Soldiers, I guess, and her brother is really sick or in a really bad shape, and she'll do anything to get some money to help him out. So Anastasia offers her a lot of money to give her a wagon ride to, I guess, I don't know, freedom or something like that. So it sounds like these two girls strike up a friendship along the way. I don't care. I like any type of Anastasia retelling. Tatiana, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's just get to book number 10. Book number 10 is called Lakesedge. This one is by Lyndall Clipstone. So this one is a gothic fantasy. So this girl goes to the Lakesedge estate, and she's heard the rumors in town that the boy or the man who lives there drowned his entire family when he was a boy, so she expects to meet a monster, but that's not exactly who she meets when she goes to the house. But this lake that's in the back, like I guess this really creepy underwater king lives there, and she finds that the man who lives in the house is under this king's thrall. However, she's kind of like enamored with this king and drawn to him in a really dark way. I don't know. This sounds right up my alley. I'm gonna bet that this could be one of my favorites. Book number 11 is called Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This one is a Goose Girl retelling. I'm not super familiar with the Goose Girl, okay? But you know what? When I read the synopsis, it kind of reminded me of like The Prince and the Pauper, the Mickey Mouse version. Yeah, we don't need to harp on that. All right. So Vanya was Princess Giselle's servant. And then something happens and she decides that she's gonna, tell these gods that she wants to take over Princess Giselle's life. So something happens and there's a switch and it's like a pearl necklace that she wears that lets her take Giselle's place. And then Giselle is a penniless pauper, shall we say. So it sounds like there's a struggle. Like Vanya is trying to dupe all these other high ranking royals out of money so that she can fund her escape from wherever they live. And Giselle is trying to take back her identity. I don't know. That sounds fun. All right, the last book that I have on my list, I'm really stoked about it. It's called So Many Beginnings, a Little Women Remix, and this one is by Bethany C. Morrow, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a Little Women Remix. However, this takes place in North Carolina during the Civil War, and it is for Black women that live in a newly emancipated place, or it's like a colony for newly emancipated families. So they're trying to come into their own then and figure out what it means to be free. Oh, that one sounds so good. Okay, so those are all of the 12 books. I am going to make my predictions now of what I will want to continue on with. So I know Hotel Magnifique is gonna be up there. Gilded is gonna be up there. Let's see. Lakesedge and So Many Beginnings. Those are just my thoughts for what I'm gonna like the most, but I will let you know when I read each of the first chapters. So let's just start off with the fact that I was wrong. So this is not a chapter per story. This is like a couple chapters. I think for this first one, it was 3 or 4. So I was like, oh, this is gonna take me longer. All right, so the bone spindle. I thought it started off like really interesting. It kind of gave me those like nice fairy tale vibes that I was looking for. But then we plunged into the Indiana Jones part of it, and then I was just like, I'm not feeling it. So that's not to say that I'll never pick it up, but I'm just not excited for that one. I was pleasantly surprised with that one. Like, I don't know what exactly I expected. I think just from the blurb and seeing it was contemporary and making me think of like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist or something around those lines. It's not usually my cup of tea, but I don't know. Like, it had a distinct voice. It had a sense of humor. Maybe I would continue on with it. See, and this is exactly why I'm doing this, because that one already took me by surprise. Okay, now I'm like excited to read the rest. I am sure to no one's surprise that Hotel Magnifique seems right up my alley. I got the Caraval vibes, I like the sisters, there's already some magic stuff going on, like one of them had to prick her finger with blood in order to sign a contract, which it's just like fairy tale type stuff that I'm totally into. I will 100% read this book. Okay, I think that one was a solid not for me. Like, it's kind of the contemporary that I don't like. That's, it's cutesy, relationship-based, but I get nothing from it. Like, don't get me wrong, there are definitely YA romantic comedies that I've read and I've really enjoyed, but this one I felt nothing for. It kind of gave me the vibes of What If It's Us? And I actually really hated that book, and I just don't want to read that again. No, I won't be picking this one up. And that one was underwhelming. Like, I don't know, I guess I just expected to like Kiss and Tell more because huge NSYNC fangirl and I just like things with boy bands, and that just didn't really do anything for me. I will say that I did like that there are some news articles that are interspersed with the story, and I like when there's like a mixed media to the book, but I don't think that's one that I'll pick up. I am shocked. I read Gilded, or at least, the chapter sampler. I think there was anywhere from like 10 to 15 chapters. That sampler was pretty long. And I wasn't into it. can't even believe I'm saying that. Like, I am a huge Lunar Chronicles person, and I even liked Heartless, and I don't even like Alice in Wonderland, and I think Marissa Meyer just did it really well. And I'm just not feeling Gilded. I mean, I've never been like a huge Rumpelstiltskin person, but I thought she could put like a spin on it that would make it seem interesting and pull me in because she's Marissa Meyer, but I'm not feeling it. I don't think I want to read it. Wow. I tried, but that was as boring as I thought it was going to be, all right? Hey, man, like, I picked it up, I read the chapters that were there, which I will say, like, all of a sudden it jumped to chapter 9. I don't think I read 9 chapters, so I'm hoping that the rest of this particular Fierce Read sampler isn't like that you're taking random chapters from places. I'm hoping it was just this one. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not interested in Treasure Island. I'm not interested in pirates. I really don't care, so I definitely won't be picking this one up. But if that's something that interests you and you love Treasure Island and you love pirates and you're interested in reading about a Chinese dynasty, I mean, maybe this one is for you. It's just definitely not for me. I wasn't feeling Bad Girls Never Say Die either. I'm honestly starting to get a little jaded. Like, maybe this is not the way that I should dabble into new books. I mean, I was doing good in the beginning. Like, didn't I enjoy the first 2 or something like that? Or the second 2? Whatever. But I don't know. I feel like book after book that I'm like, okay, I don't think I want to pick this one up. This one I was kind of excited about. Like, I'm not a big Outsiders person, but I like the idea of switching it, like, you know, gender bending it to a group of female bad girls. And I don't know. I didn't care. There were a lot of names thrown at you at once. And this one wasn't just random chapters like the last one that I read. This one was consecutive chapters. But I have no desire to pick this one up. Okay, I'm feeling a little better after the sampler from Daughters of a Dead Empire. So I was into this. You know, it starts off and Anastasia is on the run. Like, her family has already been murdered and she is on the run and trying not to be killed. I think this is one that I would pick up. It's not one that I'm like chomping at the bit for, but I did like her exchange with the other girl that's agreeing to let her ride in her wagon and take her to the south. So, okay. So maybe. Ooh, Lakesedge started out kind of dark, like dark fairy tale-ish. This one was the one that was pitched as like dark gothic, and I feel it already. There's like an evil mother character, and this girl is standing up for her brother to make sure that her mother doesn't beat him. Like, Already it sucked me in, and they've already mentioned the Lord Under, I guess the sinister guy that lives in the lake or something like that. I don't know, but this one I will definitely pick up. Little Thieves was good too. That one sucked me in, like, from start to finish. I say start to finish, but you know, it's just a little chapter sampler. But still, this is one I will definitely pick up. I'm not that familiar with the Goose Girl. Again, it reminds me of like Prince and the Pauper. That's not exactly what's going on here, but this girl doing a switcheroo from being the servant to taking the princess's place and then trying to get herself out of that, like, it already has me. It already has me. I will definitely read this book. Okay, that one was okay. Like, I'm a big Little Women fan. I love Little Women. I don't love who Joe ended up with, and I would change that ending if I could, but I can't. But I would be curious to read more. So I don't think this one fully sucked me in, but I think it's laying a lot of groundwork in the beginning, which makes sense. Especially if you're tackling something as big as Little Women and putting it into a remix with switching the race and also switching like what the actual theme of the book is. Like, these are people that were from families that were newly emancipated and starting their own colony. Like, I think that sounds super interesting. So even though this beginning of the book didn't pull me in all the way, I would still be curious to read more. All right, so 12 books. 12 books that I read a couple of chapters of each from. So let me see how I did. All right, number 1, Bone Spindle. Probably not going to go on with that one. Sunny G's series of rash decisions. Maybe. That was surprisingly funny, and I forgot to mention this earlier, the main person, Sunny G, has a stutter, and me being an SLP, I was like, ooh, I like language diversity, verbal diversity in my books, so maybe I'd go on with that one. That was a pleasant surprise. Okay, number 3, Hotel Magnifique. Absolutely, I will definitely read that one. Number 4, Right Where I Left You. No. 5, Kiss and Tell. Probably not, I'm gonna say no. 6, Gilded by Marissa Meyer. I don't think so. I don't know. Could I really say no to a Marissa Meyer book? Like, should I give it a full shot? I don't know. I feel like I have to read it, but I'm just very surprised that the beginning really didn't pull me in. Oh, I don't know. I'm back and forth on that one. 7, A Clash of Steel. No. 8, Bad Girls Never Say Die. No. 9, Daughters of a Dead Empire. Okay, maybe. Maybe I'd go on with that one. 10, Lakesedge. Yes. 11, Little Thieves. Yes. 12, So Many Beginnings. Yes, yes. Okay, so how many yeses do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have like 6.5 to 7-ish with my maybes. All right, so that's not too bad for just sampling 12 books. I'm okay with that. Okay, so that's all that I've got for you today. Thank you for tuning in to Elise Reads and Speaks, and I will catch you next time, guys. Bye!